Kitty Cat Kids Corner. Kitty Cat Kids Corner. Kitty Cat Kids Corner. It's Catterday story time. Cool cat facts. Cats have a hearing range of 55 Hz on the low-pitched scale and approximately 79 kHz on the high-pitched scale. Cats can hear 1.6 octaves of high frequencies more than humans can. Cats enjoy music that is composed just for them. If you are playing music or whistling and your cat starts to purr or rub against you, it means they like the frequency of the sound. How many kitty paws do you see playing notes on piano keys? How many kitty paws do you see playing notes on piano keys? Stick around to find out the answer at the end of today's Catterday story time. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Catterday story time. Lorenzo will be joining us today. We will be reading Ketzel, the Cat Who Composed by Leslea Newman, illustrated by Amy June Bates. Great job, Lorenzo. Moshe Ketzel lived in the middle of a noisy building, in the middle of a noisy street, in the middle of a noisy city. But Moshe didn't mind. Everything he heard was music to his ears. Moshe was a composer. Every morning, he composed himself by sitting very still. He listened outside himself and listened inside himself, just as his teacher had taught him when he was a little boy. When he was done listening, Moshe turned all the wonderful sounds he heard into beautiful music. When Moshe was finished working for the day, he went out for an afternoon walk to listen to the sounds of the city. One particular day, he turned a corner and heard a sound he had never heard on the street before. It was a small sound. It was a sad sound. It was a little Ketzel, Moshe cried. He often used Yiddish words when he was nervous or excited. Come, little Ketzel, he said, scooping up the black and white kitten. I will take you home, and we will make beautiful music together. The next morning, Moshe moved a stack of music books off the top of the piano and set Ketzel down. You must listen outside yourself and inside yourself, he instructed as he began to play. Ketzel kept very still. The music started off softly and slowly, but then it grew louder and faster, reminding Ketzel of crowds of people rushing by her, almost trampling her, and she meowed in fright. Moshe stopped playing, picked up little Ketzel, and looked into her big green eyes. Ah, Ketzel, I see that music stirs your soul, he said, and that is a wonderful thing. One day, a letter from Moshe arrived in the mail. The Paris New Music Review is having a contest, Moshe read aloud to Ketzel. Each composition must be no longer than 60 seconds. Moshe blinked in disbelief. 60 seconds? Impossible! How can anyone create a beautiful composition in only 60 seconds? He asked Ketzel, and put the letter aside. The next day, when Moshe sat down to play, his fingers fumbled over the keys. He kept glancing at the letter from the Paris New Music Review. Finally, he decided to give it a try. He wrote a few notes, and then a few more, and then a few more. Before he knew it, his composition was 10 minutes long. Impossible, Moshe said. Time passed, and Moshe grew more and more unhappy. One day, he did not even come to the piano at all. Ketzel stared at him as he stared out the window. Ketzel didn't know if he was listening outside himself or listening inside himself. Perhaps he was not listening at all. Moshe looked at the letter announcing the contest again, and Ketzel looked at it too. She knew it was the source of all Moshe's unhappiness. Maybe, if she got rid of it, Moshe would be happy again. She put one 6-toed paw down on the keyboard, crept across the keys, then pushed off the piano with all 4 paws and landed on the table where the letter lay. Moshe whipped around. Ketzel, that was magnificent, he cried. Moshe grabbed a pencil and jotted down exactly what he'd heard. He played it several times, then turned to Ketzel. Your composition has a clear beginning, middle, and end. It's full of heart and takes exactly 21 seconds to play. Ketzel, you're a genius. Moshe folded up Ketzel's composition and wrote a note to the judges. This piano solo, Piece for Piano, 4 Paws, was written by Ketzel Kotel. It is her first composition. She hopes you enjoy it. Then he and Ketzel walked to the corner and dropped it in the mail. Time passed, and Moshe and Ketzel forgot all about the contest. Then, one day, another letter arrived. Ketzel, you did it, Moshe cried. He lifted Ketzel in the air, and the 2 composers danced a jig of joy all around the room. The letter read, Dear Ketzel Kotel, we are sorry to inform you that your piano solo did not win first, second, or third place in our competition. However, the judges admired your creative instinct and imagination and have decided to award you a certificate of special mention. Congratulations! A few weeks later, Moshe brushed Ketzel's fur until it shone and put on his very best suit. Then they hailed a taxi and rode to the concert hall, where Ketzel's piano solo was having its debut. Moshe carried Ketzel inside his jacket and sat down in the very last row. When the concert hall darkened, he placed Ketzel on his lap. The music began. 2 whole hours went by. Finally, a young girl crossed the stage. I will now play Piece for Piano, 4 Paws by Ketzel. Meow! The girl paused, then began again. I will now play Piece for Piano, 4 Paws by Ketzel. Meow! Ketzel mewed again at the sound of her name. As the audience laughed, the house manager flicked on the lights and rushed to the stage. Is there a cat in the theater? He demanded. That is not allowed. Please leave immediately. But this is Ketzel, the cat who composed Piece for Piano, 4 Paws, Moshi said, holding up Ketzel for all to see. A cat who composes? Ridiculous, ludicrous, preposterous, impossible! The judges were called to the stage to confer. There is no rule saying that a cat cannot compose, the head judge announced. Therefore, we invite Ketzel, he paused as she meowed again, to please stay as we all enjoy her prize-winning composition. The young pianist took her place, with arms stiff and hands held straight over the keys. She leaned forward, pausing for a minute, like a cat getting ready to pounce. Then she played Ketzel's piece. Encore! Encore! The audience cried. The girl played Ketzel's composition again, and when she was done, Moshi brought Ketzel up to the stage so that the composer and musician could each take a bow. After the concert, Ketzel became very famous. Her picture appeared in many newspapers, and her composition was performed all over the world. And one day, another envelope addressed to Quetzalcoatl arrived. It contained a royalty check for $19.72. At the bank, a teller pulled out a stamp pad, and Ketzel pressed her front paw into the ink and then placed it on the back of the check, endorsing it with her 6-toed signature. The bank teller counted out Ketzel's money. It bought Ketzel many cans of cat food, which she thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Kitty Cat Kids Corner Catterday Storytime. Stay tuned to find out the answer to today's brain game. Great job, Martha. How many kitty paws do you see playing notes on piano keys? How many kitty paws do you see playing notes on piano keys? How many kitty paws did you guess? If you guessed 16 kitty paws, you are correct. Good job, Simey. Good job, Pony Boy. Brothers. Look. Yeah, good job. Good job. Great job. Great job. Great. Great job, everyone. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. Looking for more Catterday fun? Check out our Catterday and Cats 101 LibGuide on the LSC Sci-Fair Library website. Be sure to check out our weekday story times with our talented children's librarians and specialists. Happy Catterday! Don't forget to check out the hcpl.net online catalog for more books about cats. Check out our ebooks and audiobooks selection for kids.